Hello guys, my name is James, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Following that big cliffhanger, we kick off Season 2 with the boys wanted as public enemies number 1. They've been blamed for Madelyn's death, partly thanks to Butcher's homemade bomb. All the boys go off the grid and lay low. While this is going on, Homelander's Compound V plan is called into question by Vought CEO Stan Edgar. He gives Homelander a stern talking to, but because of the military contracts the Seven have secured and how much money they're making off this, everything stays as it is for now. Annie begins working undercover from within the Seven, feeding back information to Hughie. With A-Train alive but comatose, and Translucent gone, the Seven need new blood. That falls to Stormfront to pick up the numbers. Stormfront is a quirky, next-gen hero who knows how to connect with the masses via social media. And after Translucent's death, they need all the PR they can get. Meanwhile, Butcher shows up back home safe and sound with the boys. It turns out Homelander let him live, thanks to a deal he's made with Becca. In exchange for keeping Butcher alive, Homelander is able to see his son. Given this is a Vought compound, and Homelander actually raped her, this is basically hell. Butcher does show up to try and bust Becca out, but given she wants to leave with her son, Billy realizes this is going to be impossible, given how important he is to Vought, and the plan is abandoned. Instead, the boys meet their newest CIA contact, Grace Mallory. She's actually the original founder of the boys, the one who has been responsible for bringing them all together. Earlier in the season we saw footage of a strange soup terrorist causing havoc down on the docks. It's soon revealed that this is actually Kimiko's brother, whom the boys managed to bring into their ranks. Annie's work pays off and she manages to smuggle a sample of Compound V out. A-Train wakes up from his coma and tries to blackmail her when he finds out, but of course, she has dirt on him too. Namely him killing Popclaw. A-Train gives up, and Annie leaks the Compound V to the media. However, Kimiko's brother causes a massive problem that Vought decide to spin in their own favor. With local law enforcement finding the boys out at sea, Stan Edgar decides the Seven should go and save the day. That way, it will stop the public from asking so many questions. Given it's out at sea, it's the perfect time for the Deep to make his return. After hitting rock bottom last season, he's recruited to the Church of the Collective and eventually rides in on a whale to save the day and improve his PR image. Butcher and the others crash straight through the mammal though, leading to an incredibly bloody scene. With the boys surrounded, Homelander forces Starlight to kill Hughie to show she's not a traitor. Kimiko's brother drops a train on Homelander though, leaving it up to Stormfront to stop things. She's even more insane than Homelander, wrecking an entire apartment building and killing Kimiko's brother in a pretty brutal scene. Off the back of this, public opinion swings in favor of Stormfront. This isn't helped by footage of Homelander surfacing of him causing civilian deaths. After a gnarly dream sequence of Homelander slaughtering thousands of people with his laser eyes, he bites his tongue and manages to save face. In fact, Stormfront helps Homelander swing his persona around and he goes back to being loved by the masses. Meanwhile, the boys, and Annie, find out that Stormfront used to be known as Liberty back in the 60s. She's a massive racist, doesn't age and is actually a Nazi too. So yeah, she's worse than Homelander. Not only that, but she also has a secret facility full of different soups with powers. Stormfront is trying to stabilize Compound V so she can use it on adults rather than babies, but the results have been unpredictable to say the least. One of the soups there happens to be Lamplighter, whom we thought had retired at the start of episode 1. Now Lamplighter is willing to testify against Vought at the upcoming congressional hearing. However, Lamplighter kills himself before that happens, leaving it up to the old chief science officer, Butcher's trump card, to testify following a menacing visit earlier in the season. However, a soup with the powers to explode heads, something we witnessed earlier in the season courtesy of Butcher's previous CIA contact being murdered, manages to stop the whole hearing and it's cancelled. The two-soup power trip. Stormfront and Homelander end up in a soup relationship, and together they take off with Becca's son. Becca pleads with Butcher for help, who ends up striking a deal with Stan Edgar. In exchange for leading Homelander away from his son, Edgar can swoop in and take the kid. That way, he and Becca can ride off into the sunset, Homelander can be stopped temporarily and the child can be saved. Meanwhile, Annie and Hughie are given help from an unlikely source, a train. He's been kicked off the 7 thanks to Stormfront's racism. They're not a team, obviously, but he helps them leak her Nazi photos. Public opinion turns on Stormfront, leading to our big fight at the end of the season. Stormfront is attacked by Starlight, Queen Maeve and Kimiko in a 3-on-1 beatdown.